Welcome, Gemini, to the month of July 2017. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and rising in Gemini. Now, the month starts out with the sun, your ruling planet Mercury, and Mars all in the sign of Cancer in your second house. So what that does for you is make you think and take actions toward finances and puts a light on your values. And the moon in Libra and Jupiter in Libra as well. Oh, now that Libra's gone direct as of back on June 9th, you can take some constructive action toward something creative, or maybe there may be a little bit of tensions in romance because there's a square from the moon to your ruling planet Mercury. Maybe. There may be. There's no there's nothing written in stone, so you don't have to really worry about that too much. And on July 5th, Venus enters your first house of the physical body and the self and your outlook on life in Gemini. And the following day, your ruling planet moves from Cancer into Leo in your third house of communications, and this is where it best expresses itself. Your ruling planet Mercury best expresses itself and feels more at home in your third house, in your natural third house. So you'll probably feel more of an ease in communication on July 6th. So that's welcoming. And then on July 9th, there is a full moon in the 8th house. And you'll find that you'll be feeling like an impetus or a great deal more of a drive, or maybe somebody maybe possibly working against you, because when there's oppositions, there's a challenge to your to the sun, Mars, the sun and the moon opposing one another. When there's a full moon, there's an opposition, and so when there's an opposition from the sun and the moon, as well as the sun and Mars opposing both moon and Pluto too, here you can really see maybe a major shift in your values, and or some kind of new tensions or build up in your or your partner's finances, or something happening here with, there is possibly going to be something happening here in the month of July on July 9th. But as I always say with oppositions, it's a point, in my opinion, of awareness and things to really work on or look at, something to open your mind to any kind of way to work at when you have an opposition like that. And then on July 16th, the moon moves into its last quarter in your 11th house of friendships, hopes, wishes, and goals. So, and that's in Aries. The moon will be in Aries. So, but in this case, the moon will be trining your ruling planet, and that'll be something significant for you. May be able to communicate well in group settings or with your friends in innovative ways, because Uranus is here as well, conjuncting the moon, at least for the time being. And then another 2.5 days later, the sun moves into Leo on July 22nd. And then the following day, on July 23rd, another 2.5 days later, because the moon moves into each sign around the wheel of life or the natal chart. Every sign has the moon in it every I think it's like 2 3/4 days. But anyway, on July 23rd, the moon becomes new. And so when the moon comes together with the sun, it's considered a new moon. And here's where you can go within and mentally recharge or start new things, perhaps think of new ideas toward or actually you will maybe be thinking of some really imaginative ideas in your career and or public standing. And the 10th house is the house of career and ego and public standing. And Pisces rules, the sign of Pisces rules your 10th house. And here you have more of an inconjunct, but that's not too much of a negative thing. It's 150 degrees away from almost being an opposition, but it can pose its challenges. It's not a big deal. It sort of shows where you're maybe a tiny bit insecure in communications with others, especially in the public eye or in your career sector. And let's see. Mercury on July 25th moves into Virgo, so you will be able to also feel the energies of the other sign that also has Mercury ruling it, and it's going into your 4th house of the home. And you can think about wanting to do some kind of home renovations. Let's see here. Then on July 30th, the moon moves into the first quarter in your 6th house of work and health. So you might want to be careful though. However, it's a sextile for this part of the month. Toward the end of the month though, you might want to be careful of your hands in some way, but not in a big, I'm sure you know that your hands are the most delicate part of the body because they rule that part of the body. And finally, on July 31st, Venus enters Cancer in your 2nd house. So you'll be able to, I don't know how to say ruminate, I don't know. I don't know if that's the word for it. Or love, for sure. You'll be able to love the fact that your finances or maybe sudden windfalls of money, perhaps an inheritance or something coming your way. And you'll really shine in communication since the sun has moved into Leo, and that can really highlight and make your communication a little more magnanimous. Let's see, and there's Jupiter. I guess I forgot to mention Jupiter is opposing Uranus, and that can be a great way to shed awareness on what goes on in a group sense, and you may even possibly meet some kind of love interest or have a new kind of romance or manifest because there's a tie-in here. I can see a sextile from Jupiter to Saturn, 2 signs away. So there's a possible new development in relationships through communication. So, Gemini, have a happy 4th of July and be well. Oh, and also feel welcome to like, share, or subscribe, maybe even comment if you'd like. Thank you very much.